So we're at the Body Electric Yoga Company. It's a huge facility, so if you're ever in St. Petersburg, come to Body Electric Yoga Company. This is a Bandha and Pranayama event. What is Prana? And of course, I may say things, not only am I going to probably say things you've already heard before, I may say things that contradict things that you've heard. And so you choose to leave it or, ask questions, but that's just what it is. Yoga's chitta vritti nirodha, stopping of mind is yoga. But then the Hatha Yoga Pradipika says the yoga is the stopping of prana. And so if you just do a little language algebra, the stopping of mind is yoga, equals yoga. And then yoga equals stopping of prana. So stopping of prana equals stopping of mind. So prana equals mind. And the one is mind. And mind is symbols and meanings and feelings and things that it's unseen, but activity is happening. And so when a word like work comes up and I feel an attraction or aversion to that word, that attraction, aversion, prana. It's a polar universe. And unless there's no energy. Where there's zero energy, there can't be attraction or repulsion. But where there is energy, something's attracted and something's repelled. And so the word attracted or repels me. And so that's dependent on the meaning of the word. If I understand the word, if I have the program to understand the word, it might be a different language and it's nonsense to me or whatever. And then my system, it depends on my system. What's my experience with that? And the sounding board of my nervous system, my neurology, I hear it, I process it, it interacts with my systems. And then have I designed my system to be harmonious with communication, with words and symbols and things like that? Everybody has experiences. There's going to be some words that are like, you just don't like that word. And although it's kind of a touchy subject, that's kind of being dependent on the word. And yoga aims to be, practices of yoga is to be supremely independent. So the words, I don't want them to affect me. I don't want to be like stoic all the time, but I don't want to be a slave to the meaning. If the meaning's affecting me, then I'm junior to the meaning. So a lot of my pranayama practice has to do with stop my mind enough so I can hear the sentences that are not so audible. The silent sentences that are deeper in the mind. You quiet your mind enough and you start to hear things that come up. Yeah. So there's two things I was going to talk about. One was joint stability, and it's an interesting subject. The physiological definitions of Bandha is coactivation of muscles around the joint space. That's really interesting. If you're able to pay attention to the void in the space of the joint capsule, not that it's void, it's not a vacuum in there, there's stuff in there. But if you can put your attention inside your glenohumeral joint or inside your atlanto-occipital joint where the cranium just sits on the top vertebra, or in the space between your ischial tuberosities and your pubis and your coccyx, in that pelvic floor region, if you can put your attention in the void, everything around the void just kind of, it readies, and it gets ready. And it maybe isn't contracted, but it's ready to contract. So it's like alive. So it brings an aliveness to the muscles that are controlling that joint. And so that's how I think of it as stability. As far as like a physical action, the physical action is not the bandha. Physical action is a route to the bandha. It's like the common saying, the map is not the territory. The menu is not the meal. The muscle contraction is not the bandha. It's just leading your awareness deeper towards where it does occur. So a lot of bandha work, they're doing too much. They do mula bandha in asana practice, and it's too much. There's a lot of tension that is accumulating in the body, and so people are becoming tight asses a little bit. In the yoga practice, contracting so much and then not being able to let it go. I don't think it's so much the development of the muscle as much as the inability to relax it. Because I always admired those bodybuilders but they could do splits or whatever, and they were still really flexible. So they had the mass, but and then there's other people that are like skinny as a toothpick, but they're not flexible. So it wasn't so much the muscle development; it was the ability to let it go and not carry the tension of the previous contraction into the next contraction. So there's techniques for that. So we're going to deal with the spinal bandhas today. Very energetic. They're all energetic. Bandhas occur around chakras, and depending on what system you're looking at, every little joint space there's a little chakra. And then the main system is there's 7. I like the 10 system of Krishnamacharya. If you read Yoga Makaranda, he describes the 10 chakras. And it just hit me, and I was like, I like this, and I kept going into it. But what we're going to do today is the 7 bandhas of the 7 chakras.